All right, now this is a good one. Tired of Agile becoming a bureaucratic mess. I can't but notice how Agile has turned into the weird corporate monster that's actually slowing everything down. The irony is killing me. Got these Agile coaches and delivery leads who are supposed to make things smoother, but they're often the ones gumming up the works. I keep running into teams where Agile means endless meetings and pointless ceremonies, while actual work takes a backseat. What gets me the most of these coaches have more certificates than real experience. They're turning what should be a flexible, human-centered approach into the rigid checkbox exercise. Have you found ways to cut through the BS and get back to what matters, actually delivering stuff? And I wanted to add that also it expands the budget of the company, because when you have all of these meetings, all of these discussions on these Agile approaches and trying to synchronize all the stuff, you spend an enormous amount of company resources on that, right? I think the problem is not just about the coaches or the approaches or anything like that. The main reason for that is a desire to simplify the process, to simplify Agile, different planning practices to just simple meetings. Like, let's get together, let's discuss everything, we'll get everything on the paper, and then we'll use it to streamline everything, right? But that apparently doesn't work like that, right? You see, creating of a roadmap or creating of a plan requires really high brain resources, right? So you really need to get to the table, right? Like, get all of the streams you have, get all the features you want to create, and then you need to match all of that into a single timeline or single roadmap, right? And for that you need to do a lot of math, right? You need to sit and calculate with a calculator, like what should go into this slot, what should go into that slot, into this quarter, into this iteration, right? You should be able to create mathematically proven schedule. That's what we as an industry should be doing when we're planning things, right? That's what statistics is for. That's what estimation is for. That's what road mapping is for, right? So one of my missions actually on this channel is to explain how the insights of how project management can be done, like how all of these practices and methodologies of project management that exists for decades can help actually make project management effective and proven, right? So that we could rely on that, rely on these numbers, synchronize teams correctly, right? So that every team knows their spot, has their spot, and this spot is verified and is synchronized with other teams, with the features they implement and everything, right? And that requires using of algorithms, using of the tools, using of automatic tools, or just, I don't know, Excel or calculator, right? So, but we can't just simply do this and fix this planning gaps just by going and having a meeting about that, right? Like, during the meeting, teams usually don't discuss the math. They're just discussing of the priorities, the scope of features, and just can share the general vision of the product. That's what the meetings can actually be helpful for. But in this case, the meetings will just take an hour or two, right? It's not necessary to create like a day or 3-day conference out of just simply sharing the insights about the information. And all other things, they can be just moved to Excel or to some better advanced planning apps that we are trying to develop and trying to create this really reliable and effective infrastructure to do the planning. So essentially that was my insight on that.